Thing like
Ready whenever. The man with the...
crap, I need to do my monthly report.
Okay, it is 10 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order. Certify that we do have a quorum present. All 5 members are here. Item number 2 is opening prayer. Ricky, you mind leading us in an opening prayer? And following that, Commissioner Snuggs, will you lead us in the pledges? Please rise.
Father, we thank you so much today for the opportunity that we have to meet, that we have the opportunity to serve the citizens of Cooke County. We thank you today, Father, that we have you that we can turn to, pray for your wisdom, your guidance during the time that we're living in right now. Help us, Lord, that we found doing things that are pleasing to you. Give us wisdom, guidance, and we'll be careful to give you the honor and glory. In Christ's name we pray.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the United Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I think the sound's on that little iPad thing there. I don't know if we can turn that down somehow. Yeah.
Looks like it's got a little time delay.
It's got a time delay.
Wasn't that way last week, was it?
Yeah, I think it's always had a few second time delay. There should be some.
There's some in the charger over here.
And there should be some right there.
Stash.
We got a whole stash.
All right, item number 5 is public comments. We do not have anybody that signed up. I do want to make, just for clarification, because I was asked to make it and I think it needs to. Last week the audio was kind of bad, so it was hard to understand who was and who was not talking. Janie Hennigan was not one of the ones that talked. I know her name was called, and it was somebody else that spoke. They identified themselves, but it was hard to hear from the audio. She did not speak. She was signed up, but we'll get that corrected for next week's minutes. But I did. She was concerned about her name being mentioned to speak, and she didn't speak. We'll get that clarified for the minutes when that comes out. I think it's already, but I just want to make that note. Item number 6 is...
Did she sign up to speak?
She signed up to speak, but did not choose to speak, so, and didn't state a position when she called in. So just wanted to make sure that's clarified for next week's minutes. Item number 6 is deliberate and consider possible approval of a proclamation declaring April 2020 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Week. This reads, whereas every child deserves to grow in a safe, loving, permanent home where his or her physical, emotional, educational needs are fully met, giving the child the opportunity to realize his or her potential. And whereas preventing child abuse and neglect in a community is a community problem that depends upon education and involvement among people throughout every sector of the community. And whereas in 2019, every 8 minutes, a child in Texas was subject to abuse or neglect. And whereas also in 2019, 67,313 children in Texas, including 562 in Cooke County, were confirmed as victims of abuse or neglect. And whereas 50% of those children were under the age of 5. And whereas in 2019, 235 child abuse-related fatalities in Texas, that is 1 child every 37 hours. And whereas in 2019, 51,417 children in Texas, including 215 in Cooke County, were in the care and custody of Texas Department of Family and Protective Services because of evidence of abuse and neglect. And whereas a child's journey in the child protective system can be extremely frightening, frustrating, and traumatic experience for children who are removed from his or her home and placed with strangers, often in a different county, away from his or her school, friends, place of worship, and only life they've ever known. And whereas the impact of abuse and neglect has been a long-term personal, economic, and social cost, And whereas CASA of North Texas, Child Protective Services, Cooke County Child Advocacy Center, foster parents, teachers, law enforcement agencies, and others who ensure that children in the community have a safe opportunity to grow up in a safe, loving, permanent home. And now therefore be it proclaimed, the Cooke County Commissioners Court hereby proclaims April 2020, as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Cooke County, and commends all organizations, including Abigail's Arms, CASA of North Texas, CASA Volunteers, Cooke County Child Welfare Board, and the Department of Family and Protective Services for their commitment and dedication to preventing abuse and mitigating the devastating effects of abuse and neglect by serving children who have been victimized. The court further calls on all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, schools, government agencies, and businesses to increase their participation efforts to support children and prevent abuse, thereby strengthening our entire community. Signed and approved this the 6th day of April, 2020. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner John Clement,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Leon Clement. It's unfortunate, even in a pandemic, this is something that still goes on, and we need to make sure we're aware of it. Any further? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes 5-0. And we'll make sure to get that to Vicki, and we'll try to do a Facebook post or some kind of picture that is aware of the current situation going on without running afoul of anything. Item number 7 is the consent agenda. Does anybody have any items they wish to pull?
Nobody has anything, I make a motion we approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Snuggs to approve the consent,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Hollowell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes 5-0. Item number 8 is deliberation regarding status and future needs of new CPS court and consider any possible action regarding the same. Rick, we don't have any news on the Carpet Square hunt, do we?
I found the source of the
Yes, come up here if you would.
I found the company that is the source of them. Take 2. I found the company that is the source, the manufacturer. They're in Georgia, and I'm trying to get a quote from them. We have 2 different ways we go. We can buy the squares ourselves and then just hire somebody to install it, or we can, what I thought was I'd just do a spec sheet and define what we want, what carpet squares we want, and so forth, and then let them price it as well.
Do we have any other non-county employees with keys out there that we know about?
Not that I know
Oh, anybody?
of. Krebs kind of controls who gets keys and the judge.
You're not, is Krebs in that loop now? So we need to be sure that we don't issue keys to non-county employees, even at the
'cause I don't know.
recommendation of another elected official.
How in the world do you get keys to get in all those places anyway?
We need to,
I'm not sure who gave him the keys.
Anyway.
we need to learn from it and move on.
Yeah, which is why a lot of times the badges make, when you can use them, especially, it makes sense on the exterior doors, but the badges are easy to control
Yeah.
who has and doesn't have access and how people get removed or don't remove from the system.
The key system that we have, you can't just go have a key
Yeah,
made.
yeah.
But usually there are more than one key in an office, you know.
We lose our feed.
No, I think we're still good on the feed over there, right? It's just, that's turned off.
Touch it.
No, it's fine. I don't need to see a picture of myself. Item number 8 will be no action. Item number 9 is deliberate and consider any possible action regarding application of CTIF grant, CTIF, which is this is a new line of funding that came from the last legislative session, allocating money based on Similar to what this was, I don't know, 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, which was heavily impacted roads because of overweight and oil and gas related industry. This new allocation of funding is a different formula. Cooke County is eligible for $447,954 worth of potential funding, and this is the application which we have to spell out which roads are those that are impacted and rank them in order. And we've got a couple of months to get this done, but I just got this past week on March 27th, so I wanted to get it up
You
in
have
front of.
1 month,
You got 1 month,
May till
The
May 27th.
May 27th, which was 2 months from the date of the letter, which was March 27th.
Oh, sorry.
So yes, it's May 27th, regardless of how long ago or in the future that may be. So I wanted to put it out there, get some thoughts, comments.
There's some training on this, isn't there? Where did I read that? Having a seminar you have to log into. I forget where part of that I read that in. Maybe I went to the website and looked at it.
The application must include a list of prioritized projects and the county road condition report from the preceding year.
But there is a webinar.
Webinar. Webinar was the word I was looking for.
There is one on Tuesday. I don't know why they just sent this all to county judges, but it's sent Wednesday at 2 p.m. There is a webinar.
I figured you were going to watch the webinar and do all the paperwork. I was just going to give you the road number and you were going to.
Just
We gave them a list before. They never did a pre-inspection of those roads, did they?
No.
So when you said that the amount, 447,000, is actually, that's a minimum.
That's a minimum. It depends on if counties turn it back. Overall, I think it's got the list of how those are allocated by each county. If counties choose not to do it, then it'll be reallocated based on the same formula.
Same way they did the C-TERS.
Yeah. I think there was a little bit of money come back on that.
Yeah.
How did y'all do it last time with?
Split it 4 ways.
We split it 4 ways and we all came up with.
I gave some back. I gave 50 or 60,000 back to you guys.
Or did you?
Like free money?
Oh, there ain't nothing free about this. You'll work harder for that $100,000 if we split it 4 ways than you do $120,000 worth of paperwork.
It wasn't that bad.
Supposedly this is streamlined, so we'll see.
It wasn't as bad as FEMA.
I was going to say it's streamlined like the FEMA.
It wasn't as bad as FEMA. So the way I read this, you can redo, this doesn't just have to be gravel. It can be chip and seal, asphalt, anything. You can use competitive bids or county forces from the way their examples read. So.
And to Shelley's point, the application period is 1 month. We got notice of it 2 months. I think that's what she was. Application period opens on the 27th and it goes to the 27th opens on the 27th of this month and goes to the 27th of May.
So can we split this 4 ways or do we have to?
I think you guys know what I know because you see it on that paper. But I think there's going to be hopefully some guidance on what to do on this
on the
webinar. I'll shoot the link to everybody. It's on their website, I think.
There is a webinar and it's limited to how many people can apply. I would imagine the MPO in Wichita will have some guidance with this, don't you think?
I think so.
For the counties, what are you saying? What are you thinking?
About the rules and regs,
About the...
what all we're going to have to go through.
Yeah.
So let's say if you pick a road, Gary, that you want to spend this money on, if we can split it 4 ways, if that's what we decide we're going to do, however we're going to handle this.
We also have to notate whether we received funds in 2014 under the same program.
Yeah.
Don't we have to list those roads as well to show that we,
I'm looking.
Should all have all that.
I wouldn't doubt it's the same roads again.
Yeah, maybe.
There may be some
I mean,
some
if that's the
substantial
roads
overlap.
that your oil and gas folks used, it's probably the same roads again. A lot of them.
I don't think I did any chip and seal roads the last time. This time I might.
Well, I was under the impression you couldn't do chip and seal roads that first time.
I think that's what it was.
That's why it was all gravel roads that was ear tagged.
One of their examples in here is pavement, so
Mhm.
some of the clarification, so who's
There's a
gonna-
webinar on Wednesday. I just sent everybody the link to that.
It just wants to know the amount of the 2014 award, the amount expended, if it included any administrative costs, and any unexpended amounts.
You've got all that broken out. How hard's that to resurrect?
Should. That's in a,
She's looking forward
that's in
to
a,
it.
that's in a vault somewhere.
She's looking forward to it.
Now, Shelley, this isn't FEMA. You can't quit because this isn't FEMA.
I haven't.
Anything you want to say, Shelley?
Help.
We'll do everything we can in our power to help get you through this.
Number 6 is the county certifies that all previous CTIF funds have been or are being spent in accordance with the application project plan under this 2014 award. Well, I mean, we've already spent all of ours, so that's part of the application. And they also are asking the county matching funds must be at least 20% of the total grant award. And to identify the source of funding.
Well, that's about 25,000 a precinct out of precinct road and bridge fund. Right?
That won't be a problem.
You said that is a problem or
Won't be a problem.
No, that won't be
Yeah,
a problem.
to identify the source.
He says, please do not hesitate to contact me.
Oh, we're short-staffed due to coronavirus.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to make decisions, but I wanted to get, it'll be on court for a while.
Well, we got to figure out what all the rules
We got to figure out the rules and everything.
Can you send me a link for the
Yeah,
webinar?
I think I sent it to you too, on that webinar.
How detailed do they want to get?
And I wonder if they won't do an extension on this like they're doing driver's license, license plates, everything else because of the
They might,
19.
you never,
I mean, I printed all this off Friday, and it didn't say,
Think about an extension.
not yet, no. And then the grant agreement looks like the funding agreements we get when, on the bridge replacements.
What if they let us use match on that? We've never asked that question. What if they do it like the matching bridge fund?
It's definitely 424,000 that our local taxpayers won't have to come up with to help fix roads, so I don't think you have a.
Got to take it.
you gotta-
Yeah.
We have to participate.
it's
Or
just
figure-
figuring out
we
the
have to
rules to do that.
figure- Yeah.
Well, you only have to do 10% or funding if you are identified in the disadvantaged county.
Which we are not.
Right.
Yeah, we won't be.
Yeah, there's a list on that at the back of that, and we're not an economically disadvantaged county.
Same as before.
Same as before, probably. And you don't have to worry about the reinvestment zone or any of that stuff that they had to do before, that special taxing zone,
Yeah,
all
they
that
got
went
rid of
away.
that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just more of a straight grant program.
some of the big ones, one of them here is what, 18 million?
Yeah, it really hits the oil and gas industry area quite a bit.
Anyway,
So we don't have to take action on today, but just getting it in front of everybody.
Moving right along.
So number 9 will be no action. Number 10 is, speaking of grants, deliberate, consider possible action regarding FEMA grant. Have anything new on that?
Are we going to leave that as generic, like for the roads?
We probably
and-
want to identify which FEMA grant going for,
Right.
because there is likely to be another at some point in the ball game.
Ray wants.
I don't have anything on the roads.
Good.
And because of the lack of payments, we don't have to have a single audit this year, or for 19.
For that. Good.
Yeah.
so they did us a favor by not giving us any of our money.
If you want to put a positive spin on it. But we had to have $750,000 in federal funding for a single audit, and we
Don't
didn't,
hit that.
we didn't have that for 19.
Number 10 will be no action. 11 is executive session in compliance with Texas Open Meetings Act 551 of the Government Code. We have personnel matters, consult with attorney, and deliberation regarding security devices and audits, and it is 10:27.
You've got 12, 13, 14 on there, so if we want to take action,
Yeah.
when we come out, is that?
Yeah. So we'll Okay, we are back in regular session. It is 11:12. Item number 12 is deliberate and consider possible action regarding public health emergency declaration for COVID-19. My recommendation to Commissioners Court is that we extend the public health emergency declaration, and that we update that to reflect the governor's order on March 31st, 2020, that is GA 14, regarding all the restrictions and updated regulations that are set forth in that order.
Make that motion on your recommendation?
We'll make them, I have a motion by Commissioner Snuggs,
Second.
second by Commissioner John Clement. I do want to take a moment to say that even though Cooke County doesn't have any positive cases as of today, that shouldn't mean that we should be complacent. It's very likely in the community, given our proximity to the Metroplex and the number of cases that are present there. So people need to be retaking these restrictions very seriously, and not only for yourselves, but for your community. We're all neighbors here. We're all in this together. And the more seriously we take this now, the better off we'll be in the long run. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion passes 5-0. Item number 13 is deliberate and consider possible action regarding personnel matters, and there is none unless somebody has anything. Item number 14 is deliberate and consider possible action regarding courthouse security.
I make the motion that we make the enhancements as discussed in executive session to the courthouse.
That is, we got a motion by Commissioner Hollowell, seconded by Commissioner Clement. And those enhancements are approximately $3,500 worth of enhancements.
We need to move any money or anything?
I think we should be fine. If not, we'll look at that. If we have to get a budget amendment back through. Sure. Do you have money? Okay. 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 We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes 5-0. Item 15 is future agenda items.
Your scoring sheet for the radio tower, I can't blow that up big enough to read it, number one. We need to have a serious conversation about that, because,
We're putting it on next court to discuss,
okay.
kind of get some direction and thoughts on it, yeah. Yep. Anything else? If not, item 16 is to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Commissioner John Clement,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Hollowell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes 5-0.
You have a deck, okay.
Yeah, I was just getting